Hello, everyone. This is Justin and Eddie again. This time, where I'm giving you a special review where he's going to be doing most of talking about a movie he watched the other night called The Ridiculous Six with Adam Sandler on Netflix.
Yes. He passed out the other night on me. We had to go to
I
work
did.
early. We had a long weekend, and I had a hard time falling asleep. I got on my Netflix, and this was like one of the big releases that was coming out on Netflix. I seen a post over it, and it says to watch it now. I clicked on it. Um, I knew this movie was not going to be anything special going into it because, first of all, everybody knows the history. It went straight to video through controversial racist. I'm not going to get into that. I don't care about. I don't scream racism. I don't believe in political correctness. But basically, this movie went into straight to Netflix because of controversies, and he signed a deal with Netflix.
Yeah.
So this movie was just a straight thing. We all know that Adam Sandler's history. The '90s were phenomenal.
Oh yeah, especially because being a guy myself who grew up with his films, he was one of my idols growing up. You know, he had some classic comedies I got into.
Yeah.
He had Happy Gilmore, Billy Madison, Bulletproof,
Little
Wedding
Nicky.
Singer, Little Nicky, Airheads.
So his '90s movies were phenomenal. 2000s still phenomenal. I say about Click is whenever I kind of noticed a really tread going downhill. I was not really starting to like. Most of the fan base, so that even diehard Adam Sandler fan base, started seeing. Okay, we all know that he's becoming the M. Night Shyamalan for a while.
What he's doing is, not to cut you off, but he's doing the same shtick that he's been doing since the 90s, and he's doing that even more poorly than he's ever done before.
Click wasn't beautiful, but then it kind of got shitty for a while, some of his movies. Then I love the Grown Ups. I like 1 and 2. And I did like Now I pronounce you Chuck and Larry. And I'm one of the very few. I know a lot of people didn't like this, but I kind of gave it a pass because I liked other cast in it. That's my boy.
Which I still haven't seen, but I heard
it's really rated not good, but I liked it. It's one of the rare movies. I didn't like Bedtime Stories. I thought that was horrible. I'm not a big Zohan fan. I was not a diehard fan of that either. But yeah, he's had some bad shit going on. So we got Ridiculous Six. I put it on. I was watching it. Well, this movie wasn't really. I'm gonna go into not strongly details, but it was really not that good. So I start off. It starts out. The story goes: his mother was killed at the beginning of the movie. So when his mother's killed, it's years later. His dad is played by Nick Nolte. He's not in the picture. So it's years later. He's raised by Indians. I can see where people were bitching. I don't get into this deeply because I can really care less about political correctness and racism.
Yeah.
But people were upset with the racism that was brought in this film. I don't care. I don't care if it was a funny movie. It wouldn't even bother me. I don't even bother. But I could see what they were talking about because it looked really ridiculous. They were doing more of a blackface thing where, everybody knows about blackface.
Yeah.
But we're doing an Indian face where there's a scene at the beginning. It starts off where it starts off where at the Indian place, and Adam Sandler's a badass Zohan guy where he's got all the superpowers. He kind of reminds me of Zohan because his powers, where he's just kicking. He can kick 10 people's ass, and he runs real fast. And it's supposed to be funny. I don't laugh at it. He's used it before. Adam Sandler's really bad at rehashing the same shit.
Yeah,
like Zohan, he does that with this guy. Well, anyways, that the tribe. Adam Sandler, pretty much the girls that are in this film are recast from his previous films. A bunch of the wife, and there's a bunch of them.
Some of the girls you might remember from I know Now Pronounce You Chuck and Larry, and probably from Billy Madison, I think,
and Bedtime Stories, and stuff like that. Well, they play the girl Pocahontas. Most of them, actually, all of them are white, but you could see the tan face. They painted them tan, and you can see the white hands. It's like, okay, they're doing a blackface thing here. So I don't really. It looks ridiculous, but I'm not a guy who screams, "Oh, racism!" So I don't care about that. I love Django Unchained. I don't give a fuck about that shit. So, anyways, we go in that scene. Nick Nolte comes out of the fucking woods out of nowhere and says, "Oh, there's my son." Yeah, like I was saying to him. This movie has not got no dialogue going on. It's it's not even written good at all.
It's equivalent if you're five, you'll probably like it.
It's not something he was going in as serious. But even if it was, it's like Adam Sandler's. It's like if Adam Sandler did a movie as low as Sharknado. It's supposed to be that stupid, but But then again, even watching those, knowing it's supposed to be stupid, you can judge it and watch it, see if it's good or not, and you can't get into it. Even though it's supposed to be stupid, this movie was really just. You couldn't even think of it like Sharknado. It was just work. It was just.
No, because
not
it's
even fun.
Because it's labeled as a comedy, instead of unintentional.
This movie actually had a theoretical release date until the controversy happened, so this went to Netflix. Yeah. So it goes to where years later like I said, he's with the Indian tribe. Nick Nolte runs into him. That's my father and all that stuff. I'm not going to go into too much detail, but then when we get to the scene where Nick Nolte is captured by the biggest villain on here, played by Danny Trejo, and this is where I also have a problem with because. He's supposed to be the main villain of this film because he captures his dad and says, you got up to like 7 days to get your dad and give me $50,000. I'm going to kill your dad. Okay. So he tries to threaten to kill his dad and all that stuff, and he takes off with them. And this guy is supposed to be the main villain, but he gets an equivalent to 5 minutes of screen time. You get the 2 minutes at the beginning, then I'll get into detail at the end where he gets like a 1 minute, 2 minute line, and that's about it. And that's pretty shitty, even if you're trying to make a shitty movie, because you should give your villain the main big screen time.
Yeah,
I mean,
of course, even for a shitty movie, you would still, do something.
I've seen movies that are trying to purposely suck and give a villain at least a screen time where they're trying to make a movie. This movie looks like it's not trying to make a movie.
Not to make comparisons, but it's the equivalent of, because it's another Western, it's like A Million Days to Die in the West. Well, the difference, that film actually had a lot of screen time with Liam Neeson every now and then.
You could be stupid like Million Days of Die in the West. Even though I really also hated the film, it was really boring.
It was not funny.
They at least were trying to write a story where they gave big actors screen time. Because in this movie, this has got an equivalent amount of casting like Crash did. This has got like a big old cast. Yeah. In every movie, every one of these actors pretty much to have no dialogue. And a lot of them, about 97% of like the 50 actors that's in this, is got one-liners. And then they just walk in and off the set. They are like equivalent to extras in the film. So I was like, that's pretty shitty, especially when a lot of these guys I could say are in big box office hit movies. You pretty much gave them the FU finger,
Yeah.
But anyways, more power to them if they wanted to do it. But anyways, he goes on his journey. This is where I really was This is where it kind of lagged for a while because we had 40 minutes of him, riding through the West, and it was really nothing going on other than he's just saying hi to people and telling them where he's got to go and what direction, all that stuff. And this part just made me like it was like an Ambien I took. I was like, I wasn't tired before. This was like, oh my god, I was doing that for a while. I'm a good guy that tries to dedicate and try to watch the film. I don't want to say I watched something and just judge the rest of it. I didn't see it, so I watched it all. He does that, and then the story goes: The Ridiculous Six is about a gang of brothers. Their dad is played by Nick Nolte, like I said earlier, but they're all that's their father, but they all got different mothers. So the whole film, he runs into him, and it's really stupid how he runs into him because these brothers are 100 miles away in their own little towns, and they're just all going over the place, and then they run into like I said, it's played by Rob Schneider, Luke Wilson, Terry Crews, Taylor Lautner, and
Jose Garcia.
He's Jorge Garcia or George Garcia. I don't know the guy. He's apparently going to be the new guy that's going to be part of Adam Sandler's crew. Well, pretty much. He runs into them and says, and then they magically know, we're brothers. We never met. So they probably just, aren't we same dad? It's just that there's no dialogue to this. They just run in, hey, we're brothers, I guess. And then, we got the same dad. Let's go. You want to go same dad? Yeah, sure. And these guys are like in their 40s. They haven't met each other, and it's like 40 years later from when that scene happened. What the fuck? Yeah, so it's like, really, man, even if you're purposely trying to make a shitty movie, you gotta at least have dialogue, some story. I mean, no movie can, no matter how bad you want your movie, you can't purposely just not put no story or dialogue to this shit. I mean, it's not even funny. So, like, the whole movie, they go, okay, they come together and they go and go find their dad. So, they come together, they're sitting there riding around, it's a lot of more riding around. So, throughout this film, they go to, and this is where I also have an issue with. If everybody's seen the trailer, we know that in most of the trailer, Harvey Keitel is promoted in a lot of his.
Yeah, I do notice that too a lot.
And you think he's a big villain? Well, their goal is they have to come up with $50,000. The only way they could do that is they thought that these ridiculous six has got to rob and get the money, $50,000. But the thing is, they want to rob bad people who are rich, who got their dirty money.
Okay.
Who got dirty money. I guess that's a cool concept, but the fact is that don't even have dialogue. It's basically everything that, instead of seeing the story, everything is literally just told real quick by one of the brothers.
It's rushed.
Yeah, the brother goes, oh yeah, and then he's like narrating the story real quick and just told. And they get it in and out so you'll know what's going on, but they don't build up on the story. But anyways, they defeat him in like 3 seconds and it's over with. Harvey Keitel is out of the picture in like 5 minutes. So,
well, that was a waste. Mm-hmm. Not much of a return performance since Little Nicky has it.
No. So, basically, okay, they do more do rob. I'm not gonna go into other details. There's a lot of other stupid shit like there's a scene where it actually turns into a musical for a second, and they're sitting there and they're saying some dumb song.
Yeah.
And it's really a lot of like potty humor. I'm really not getting into it. This movie is full of potty humor. There's a lot of
jokes.
There's poop jokes, and there's Rob Schneider has a donkey he takes with him with the ridiculous six on a journey, and this thing just shits all the time and shits on people. That's all. And I'm supposed to laugh at that, and it's not funny. I mean, it's really stupid. And then the farts. There's a lot of some fart scenes, and I'm like, really? Am I supposed to laugh?
No.
A lot of stuff. I'm not going to go in deep detail. So, anyways, before I get into the next story, then they run into, there's other people that's in it, like the dude from Grandma's Boy,
Nick Swartzen.
Nick Swartzen's in it. There's another gang that keeps popping up, and it's Nick Swartzen's gang, and it's got one of the black dudes from Comedy Def Jam. He's been in some small stints, but other than that, I'm not going to go too much detail because the other guys are pretty much never really have not been actors before, so they're part of a 7-man gang. They come throughout they kind of try to ruin things throughout the movie and like, oh, we stole your money that you just stole, and then they come do that. It was really a pointless gang because they don't really do anything with them. They just show up out of nowhere. And it's like, oh, we're going to steal your money. Now you got to go get the money all over again. So it's like, man, these guys are fucking
They're all
pointless.
It seems like every scene you're telling me, it's like they just, that was pretty much Adam Sandler's intention. He gets together all these famous guys. He puts them in a scene and he says, hey, y'all want to go on vacation? Oh, Wes, here, I'll shoot a movie around you.
During the credits, after the mother dies, they actually look like they're going to, Nick Swartzen's gang is going to be the big thing in this movie.
Oh, okay.
They're a different gang from Danny Trejo's, and they were. You think they're going to be something, but they just did a quick opening scene, and then they just decide to keep showing up at the wrong times when Adam Sandler has all the money saved, and they keep just stealing the money.
That's weird.
And then they just disappear. And
they
come in, and then they fuck something else up. Then they disappear, and they don't come in for another 30 minutes. And then it's just like they're a pointless gang. Anyways. Let me go into a little detail about the casting of the Ridiculous Six, not other castings, these 6 brothers. So we got Terry Crews. He plays one of the brothers, who we're to assume that he's actually mixed, but he's not. His dad is Nick Nolte, and his mom was apparently a big black slave that was a buff wrestler. They don't go into details. They hurry up and tell you that, and then they try to make some like, oh, so you don't. I'm glad you guys didn't think I was black, and and all that. It was really stupid.
That's no.
Then Adam Sandler. I'm not gonna go much with him. Adam Sandler. What he does. Rob Schneider plays a Mexican guy. They also paint him to where he looks Mexican, and you can see the whiteness around his thing. He's got the accent. He does the accent pretty good, but other than that, he's kind of just like, he doesn't know me as much as I thought he would have. But I'm not gonna get into Luke Wilson because he doesn't have much of lines in his story, but he is all right because he plays himself. You can hear he doesn't make any fake accents or anything. I'm not gonna go in detail with him. His story is really boring. He's just a normal guy. Then he's not trying to be funny at all. These two I'm gonna talk about really, really had it. This movie. You can give me a shitty movie and I'll watch it. But these two guys, I wanted to pull my hair out. I'm gonna get with Garcia first. So he plays a guy who's like a caveman, and he really can't speak. He talks like the farmer guy from Waterboy. He's like that. I'm like, and then we're assume that the other brothers understand what he says. They're like, oh yeah, I know, we're going there, we're going left.
Like he's Chewbacca or something.
Yeah, I'm like, oh my god. But he didn't know me as bad as Taylor Lautner. Oh my god, that dude. I wanted to pull my fucking hair out. It was like, people know, does anybody get that little fetish where they can't stand fingernails on a chalkboard?
Yeah.
That's what he was. I was like, oh my fucking god, dude. Now, I can hate a movie. Yeah, you can hate a movie. But then there's those movies that you hate, but then there's that one character who talks throughout the movie, and you're just
not to cut you off there,
oh
but
my god,
that is the reason why I didn't want to watch one of Sandler's other films. Fucking Jack and Jill.
Okay, let's talk about that real quick. I want to bring this up because I was thinking about this earlier. We all know that Jack and Jill, one of the biggest flaws of that is the voice over him being the sister too.
Yeah.
I will watch that any day over Taylor Lautner's character. This kid is literally playing a retard. He's an overbite looking like, and then he has his teeth popping out, and he's making jokes like, I'm a fucking virgin.
Oh, God.
And he does that the whole fucking movie. He's like, hey. I'm like, oh my fucking god, because he's supposedly like retarded, but oh my god, the dude is not fucking. It's not only does he suck at that, but the dude can't act like that either. And I have a problem with this because he actually steals lines from Forrest Gump. Like, Mama wasn't a smart man. He does that shit. Like, he literally takes lines from Forrest Gump and says it in this movie. And it's like they told him about this part to try to be like a retard, and he went and watched a bunch of Forrest Gump clips. And he literally took Forrest Gump's. And then he pretty much made what good movie Forrest Gump was, and it's just tore that part apart. I mean, because he's acting that way, but he's doing it in a most annoying voice.
Yeah, I would be pissed off.
I showed you that scene.
I was like, yeah, he showed me a part where he's narrating. He's also narrating.
Oh yeah, I'll get to that part. But the part is like
the part where he's
like, I'm a virgin.
Yeah,
I'm like, oh my god, dude.
God, that's
the sad thing is not as you would think with an annoying character like that, and not a guy that's known for comedy like that would be given a small role. He's actually the co-star of this movie, so he's in it, all of it, and he gives the most lines other than Adam Sandler. He's got the most lines next to him, and this dude is the problem. I made this movie. I couldn't fucking handle it. It was like somebody scratching chalkboard. It was just like, oh my god, like you got a fetish thing that bothers you.
Yeah.
Like a certain mouth. There's people that eat and they smack with their mouth open. And then, scratching. There's things that people can't stand. That dude was equivalent down there with that. Like I said, Jack and Jill, I'll listen to that voice any day over. I'll listen to Adam Sandler's annoying, that goofy voice he always does.
Oh, like off fucking
all his movies.
8 Crazy Nights and all his movies.
I will listen to that voice over Taylor Lautner any fucking day. That shit was driving me insane. Like, I almost wanted to break my fucking phone. I'm like, God, make it stop. So, I would just want to say that real quick, because that was like, fucking worst part of that is, not only has he got the second most lines, Adam Sandler narrates the first half of this movie, and Taylor Lautner does the last half. He narrates it too. Oh, because Taylor Lautner, we get a bunch of scenes where he's writing a journal, and like, he's like, I'm supposed to laugh that he's writing a journal. He goes, "This is to you, Mama." She's not here, so I'm writing her. I'm like, oh my fucking god, this is what was that? Why did he do that?
I would be.
Oh my god, it was so fucking bad. So I'm gonna get out of that. I just told you about the cast. So basically, they get to a scene that I thought was gonna be a good pickup at least. They get to John Lovett's Yuma's casino. They figure, okay, we got to steal the money.
Okay.
This looked like what was going to be a better scene because then we got David Spade coming in playing as General Custard and Mark Twain played by Vanilla Ice, and they're all like this little group that owns this casino. And I thought maybe, okay, Vanilla Ice, he saved That's My Boy because I really enjoyed it.
You talking about that like. He was the only good highlight of that film. He had a lot of chuckles.
I guess you could say that maybe this was part of like a satire of who Vanilla Ice really is. But you got him playing Mark Twain. We're in the 1800s, and he's doing yo. He's
Ice, baby.
He's got his voice, and he's doing his Vanilla Ice self. Like he even makes references to his music he makes. But he's playing Mark Twain. I'm going to tell you that later.
Okay.
Yeah, he's making Ice Ice Baby remarks in this. I'm like, and then they only give him 5 minutes. I mean, like I said, this movie and John Lovett's, I was so glad to see him back, but he only gets 3 minutes in this movie, and he's killed off like boom, So I'm gonna not get into detail of that. So then they continue on their journey. Then you get pretty much they're walking through. They run into more dilemmas. Just nothing important to talk about. This movie is, believe it or not, is over 2 hours. I've never seen a comedy that fucking long.
That's the longest Adam Sandler movie I've ever heard. Yeah, like to go over 2 hours. Too.
How do you have phenomenal movies that we could have seen longer, and you make your movie that doesn't even make mainstream or anything be your longest movie you've ever done?
Yeah.
Or one of the longest. Yeah, this movie's like over 2 hours. Well, 2 hours and 2 hours and 10 minutes. I was like, whoa,
that's pushing. Because to me, if you're gonna do a comedy, comedies can at least be an hour and a half to an hour and 45 minutes. You don't go over 2 hours because you don't. Okay. You have to have good jokes that work throughout it.
If anything, he should have done. I would have loved to see more. Happy Gilmore could have been 2 hours. Why does your good shit not get that long? But your most annoying movies get that fucking.
I mean, even that would not make sense anyway because the cast they have. Mm-hmm. Granted, you could have made the film longer if you would have had something to do with the fucking cast. If they had more screen time. Yeah. You know.
Yeah. So I'm gonna pretty much fast forward throughout towards the end. I'm not gonna go like strongly into the other stuff because there would be too much to talk about, pointless shit. So they get to the end, and we get the end where we get the final battle between. Oh wait! Before I talk about that, I do gotta talk about something real quick. They get the guy from Transformers.
John Turturro?
That dude, the goofy dude trying to be funny in those movies.
Yeah.
He plays in this one. I think he was also the villain in Don't Mess with Zohan.
Yeah, he was.
He was. He plays a quick scene where they run into him in the middle of the fucking wilderness. He's trying to teach these Asian guys how to play baseball. But the game hadn't been invented yet. And then they're just making references to how he created. I'm not going to go in detail. It's stupid. It was why it was like so like stuck out like a sore thumb. Like why was that even in there? What was the point of that? And then the guy, basically, they have to play baseball to get directions from this guy. So, So we get to the end, and this is where the final standoff between Danny Trejo and the group, and then you get Nick Swanson's gang show up. So it's like this big three-way thing going on. Like they're going to run at each other and start killing each other.
Yeah.
And they have this big standoff. He has Nick Nolte with Danny Trejo has Nick Nolte with them, and basically. You think you're about to get this final battle, well, then you, out of nowhere, this movie just, out of nowhere, Adam Sandler looks at Danny Trejo's hand, and it has a horseshoe tattoo.
Yeah,
he remembers the tattoo from when his mother got slaughtered. So Danny Trejo is actually the one who killed his mother. So he kills his mother, but then you think, all right, now the stakes should get higher because of that. Now. Not only did he kidnap his dad, now the stakes are higher. You think that killing his mother, we got to do some shit. He kills him with a fucking knife in 1 second. It's over. I was like,
Okay, that's
he was like, because they get ready to do the whole gunslinging thing, which is should be brought into it's a western.
right.
Nothing happens. He just goes with a knife and he's dead. Danny Trejo dies.
Oh,
So it's over. You think it's over with, and then they do this twist ending where then he's having like these weird memories, like, oh, now you're psychic now. Where Nick Nolte and the Danny Trejo thing was actually a cover up. They set it up. Danny Trejo and used to be best friends with Nick Nolte, and Nick Nolte knew that he's like, yeah, go kill kill her, kill my wife. So now they're a part of a gang. They don't even build up on that. So Nick Nolte's now a villain, and then Adam Sandler does his Zohan thing where boom, 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 and then he's like, oh, I'm fixed now. I'm sorry, son. So they have this happy ending. Then they do this stupid ending where they're like, oh, celebrating like a Willow thing at the end where they're hugging each other, kissing each other back at the village. Everybody from the whole cast gets to come in this scene where everybody's at the village. Like they're about to, like, you know, everybody, even people that didn't make no sense he was at this place. And they're celebrating, and then they do a clever thing where the Indian women are actually doing the beat to Ice Ice Baby. And they're sitting there dancing. They're doing the actual dance to the song. Yeah, they don't sing it, but they do the drum thing. And then, Vanilla Ice has got the dance going on. Everybody's doing it. Yeah. And then, basically, the movie's over with. It was like, whoa! Thank God it's over. I was glad it was over. It was. Oh my God!
I can tell you were fucking pissed off.
There's only a few chuckles in the scene. That Garcia guy, he played a scene where he actually was inside of what do you call them? Little tumbleweed. And there's this made me a little chuckle a little bit. He actually gets inside of a tumbleweed and rolls, and then these guys go, "What the fuck is that?" You know, and then it just rolls past them. And then you get another chuckle scene with Steve Kahn. I think it's
Steve Zahn.
Steve Zahn. And he plays a guy in that group. That group he's in with Nick Swanson, they're called the One-Eyed Bandits. And basically, they mean by One-Eyed Bandits, meaning you got to take your eye out to be part of their group. They make Steve Zahn to cut his eye out and then put a patch over it. Now he's part of the One-Eyed Bandit. And when they did that, they actually never cut their eyes out. They just made him do that for a joke laugh. And then the funny thing is, it made me chuckle. It's probably the best part of the film was Steve Kahn had one eye that went that way, and then he had a good eye. He cut his good eye out, and therefore his good eye's gone. So he's a patch. He has an eye going that way. So I gotta say that made me chuckle. Other than that little few chuckle scenes, this movie, I was actually gotta say, because Adam Sandler has never been known for this, the best actually part of this movie is actually the cinematography and the visuals. He captures the Western look very well. That's the only thing this movie has. This is down there. I'm going to have to say, going now with the grading system, get this over with. This is probably down there with Jack and Jill, his worst all-time movie. That's counting him being involved in movies that I didn't care for, like Punch Drunk Love. That's including everything, even what he's created. This movie is absolutely down there as the worst Adam Sandler movie I've seen.
Wow.
Ever fucking seen. It was shit. If you're gonna have your next Netflix movie, at least have something going for it. I mean, try to do something. I mean, put more work in it.
Yeah.
I mean, because if you're trying to make a stupid movie like Sharknado type story, I mean, where it's that stupid, supposed to be that stupid, you gotta have your fans still likable. Taylor Lautner, dude, you don't act like that again, please. Because if you ever act like that again, anything you're involved in, I will not watch. I'll give you benefit of doubt because I thought you were good for that role in Grown Ups too, because you're actually playing that kind of guy. That's who you are. And I'm not a big Twilight fan, but I thought you were well casted compared to the other people. You were probably the only well casted one because you're actually you're an actual Indian. I think I read that he's really an actual Indian, and that's what that's supposed to be. So he was well casted for that. Other than that, I've seen some of your standalone films. Like, you were good in Abduction. It wasn't that bad. But this movie was your all-time worst, and you fucked this movie up most.
Yeah, I can tell.
Your character about made me want to fucking pull my hair out. Don't ever do this again, and stop taking references from Forrest Gump, which was an all-time great movie. Please don't, because you about fucked that movie up. You're trying to ruin that movie.
I'm glad I didn't watch this movie, man.
Don't ever take those lines. Because you know how, like, in other guys, he was making references to TLC?
Yeah.
That's what they were kind of doing with this, with Taylor Lautner making references to Forrest Gump.
Yeah, it's like
no. The movie doesn't exist anyways for like another 250 years, so why would you not let references from that? Well, anyways, yeah, this movie is horrible. I'm gonna give this movie, being nice on the visual parts and the Steve Cahn's little goofy part. I'm gonna give it just to this, and I'm gonna tell you, when I give you this score, that's considered being nice. That's how bad this movie is. I'm giving it a 1 out of 10. Okay. This movie's down there as one of the worst movies of the year. By far, yeah, it is. It's a 1 out of 10. I give that movie a big F. Fuck you, F minus. Don't do that shit again, Adam Sandler, or I'll be done with you.
Yeah. I'm glad I avoided this movie, man, because if I ever watched it, I would have been pissed off too. Because there's a reason I didn't watch Jack and Jill, because I avoided that movie like the fucking plague.
Jack and Jill, that movie is still down there with his all-time worst, but I'm kind of scared. I don't know which one to put, Ridiculous Sick or Jack and Jill above. It's that bad. It's that bad. I mean, I really don't know what to.
I don't know.
All right, constant annoying characters. Jack and Jill was better, because I could rather hear that voiceover than fucking voices over Ridiculous Six any day of the week. Story, they still had a better story written in Jack and Jill than Ridiculous Six. Because Ridiculous Six didn't have no story going for it. Nothing made sense.
It was just, this is the problem.
They just threw a bunch of fucking, it's like a bunch of idiots skits.
Skits from Saturday Night Live.
Yeah, where there's not nothing that making shit. You know, they all don't make sense. And this movie, other than the Getting Your Father Back, nothing else makes sense in this movie.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Here's the equivalent of why Adam Sandler is very failing nowadays as a comedian. Yeah. All he does, and I've been hearing this a lot from fans online, he gets together all his buddies to go on vacation, either to the Old West, to Hawaii, to Africa, all these different landmarks, and then shoot a movie around them. Yeah. Saying, hey guys, we'll go on vacation, but I'm going to take cameras with me so you can do all this.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, man.
I'm going to say, I don't recommend this movie for anybody. I'm not going to recommend this movie. You will not get your 2 hours and 10 minutes life back. I was asking for my 2 hours and 10 minutes. If I would have had seen this in theaters, man, I would have fucking been.
If you want a better, you want a better Old West film that is also a comedy, you got better movies. Blazing Saddles, Django Unchained, which is kind of serious comedy, and the upcoming Hateful Eight. Go watch those movies compared to this.
Hateful Eight. Even I gotta say, this movie was also bad. Yeah, these two movies I'm about to mention were bad Western comedies, but they still did better in Ridiculous Six. Million Days to Die in the West had a story at least going for it, and Wild Wild West. Two I really did not like. Blew this Ridiculous Six out of the water. This is the worst Western I've seen. Yeah, it's the worst.
Yeah. So if you want, other than that, if you want at least a decent, I guess semi-decent Adam Sandler film this year, watch Pixels.
Yeah.
I mean, I know people hate that movie to death, but it's a miles better from what he's saying. It's miles better than it is.
So basically, if you want to check it out, more power to you. You know, just if the people want to check it out, you can actually fast forward through boring parts, and it's not gonna fuck the story up because there's no story. You're not missing anything.
Yeah.
If you know where to fast forward to the next big trying scene where you want to see some of the actors you haven't seen in a while, that's cool. That's cool to do. But over and out, man, I should have just fast forward most of that movie throughout the way through, because there was a lot of pointless shit. That movie is like, out of the 2 hours and 10 minutes, that movie's got an hour and 25, 30, maybe 40 minutes of pointless shit that doesn't need to be part of the story.
Wow, that's what you call a very... Yeah. It's an Adam Sandler movie that doesn't even feel like an Adam Sandler movie. It just feels like a bunch of old skits that he took off of Saturday Night Live, all the bad skits he did off there, all the shitty ones, and then put them into a fucking movie.
Let me mention this, and because he gets shit on a lot. I actually gotta say that the one guy who was the most annoying guy for once in this and in any of his Adam Sandler movies, which I was shocked. I actually had no problem with him at all. Was Adam Sandler. He's usually the one who's considered annoying in his films. He was actually not bad. He didn't do no voiceover dumb shit. He didn't do that. He didn't do none of that except for like one little thing. But I'm not gonna get into that detail. Overall, he's just a normal guy. If he would have wrote this and put really work on this and made it a good movie, he could still use what he was played in this movie, and it would still not be annoying. It would be perfect. He didn't have he was no problem.
Well, are you got any final thoughts?
Final thoughts is it's a 1 out of 10 piece of fucking shit. I won't see it again, ever again. I will never own it. So that's my final thoughts.
All right. Well, we'll be back here in another review coming up here soon. So until then, avoid this. Take not just his recommendation, other recommendations as well. Just avoid this movie like the fucking plague.
Yeah, you can see reviews. Trust me, there's nobody. It's got a lot of 0 out of 5. In fact, they actually said the first 10 days this movie was out, it literally held a 0, which is considered now on record the longest ever hold 0 on Rotten Tomatoes history.
Jesus.
It did say that. I did read a thing about that in an article that Ridiculous 6 broke the record as the longest stint to hold a 0%. It has the most zeros. Most people putting 0 on it. Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll be back at our next review coming up soon. So hope you guys take care, and we'll see you guys later.
See ya.